It was already going.
I bet.
You do that to me all the time.
Yeah. No, you're supposed to hot start. Good?
Yeah. Alright. So back a round of recapping over the last 3 days.
3 days? Yes. If you can tell, I don't sound so great. I was losing my voice, so we missed a couple match day recaps. So I'm going to try to make it through this video and get us all caught up, because now we're getting into another knockout round, so round of 16. So just wanted to recap everything before that.
Alright. So we're going to start off with Spain and Austria. So they played on Thursday.
I thought it was going to be a tougher match for Spain, to be honest. But they kind of cruised through that. I think it was 3-0. It wasn't very difficult for them. So I think they started to kind of get it together and kind of find their stride in the tournament.
Okay. It's good. It's 3-0. Good. Portugal and Croatia.
That was a very crazy game. Very, very crazy game.
Why was it crazy?
So the score went back and forth towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were tied. Looked like they were going to overtime. Portugal, well, first the Portugal coach made like a crazy sub and subbed Ronaldo out when the game was still tied. So it was a big gamble, in my opinion, but it ended up paying off because Portugal scored. And then at the very end, I believe they were like towards the end of extra time, Croatia scored, but they deemed the ball had touched somebody, because the new balls have like a sensor in it, so you can tell if it touches somebody before it's supposed to be like help with getting an offsides call correct, which is what they call that goal. People are arguing the technology, like how could it be that good? Because if you look at the video, it looks like it barely touched the guy's hair. So it's kind of like, could you really detect that? But
yeah.
Some sensor went off somewhere saying that the ball deviated it just enough, so they called it offside. So Portugal ended up going through.
How can we trust that though?
That's what a lot of people are saying. But then, like, imagine if we didn't have it, and Croatia, that goal stood for Croatia. People would be arguing the opposite. They're like, well, you review the replay, and it barely touched his hair, like it didn't actually touch him. Like, there's going to be that argument the other side either way. So it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
No.
They put a sensor in the ball now, and that's what the sensor said.
I guess. Can't argue with it.
Right.
You can't argue with it. Alright, we got Switzerland and Algeria. They played on Thursday as well.
What was the score?
They were Switzerland 2, Algeria 0.
Kind of expected.
Expected that one?
Yeah.
Switzerland?
Algeria was okay in the tournament. Generally speaking, the African teams were doing really good, but they were kind of like towards the bottom of that. So I wasn't expecting to get much further. And Switzerland's a good team. So
Australia and Egypt.
Australia and Egypt.
They were 1-1.
Yeah, and then they went to penalties.
Okay.
That's what that scoring bracket is.
So they were 4 or 2.
Yeah. So Egypt ended up winning in penalties. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm not surprised Egypt won. I'm surprised that they went all the way to penalties, considering how good Egypt is. It's not a knock on Australia, but they haven't been overly convincing in the tournament. They had one player, I'm going to butcher his name, Aaron Kunda, something like that. He's very fast. He's a very strong forward, but I don't think I think they put too much like weight on him and banked too much on him to provide goals and stuff. And when he didn't, he didn't really get much from Australia. So that's what happens. You get knocked out.
Gotcha. Another game on Friday. I know how you feel about this one. Argentina and Cape Verde.
Yeah, man. I don't want to talk about the refs, but the further we get in this tournament, it seems like Argentina's getting some favorable calls. Yeah, those just a couple things that happened in that game that were a little bit sneaky.
Like, how did this happen, or how did you get away with that?
Basically.
Gotcha.
A couple fouls not called, you know. Yeah, I don't want to get into it with the refs because then it turns into a whole other thing.
Yeah.
So far, they've been inconsistent as a whole. Like, that's been a consistent.
Yeah. Well, we saw that in the USA game.
Yeah.
There was a lot of commotion about that, too.
Yeah. So, man, Cape Verde fought really hard.
They did.
I really thought they were going to win that game. I thought they were going to take
They
the
scored.
penalties.
They were on the board.
Yeah.
They were there. They were fighting hard.
Yeah. And like, if they just had a little bit more quality up front, they probably would have won. Goalkeeper was amazing. He's really good. Yeah, a lot of their players deserve to be playing in Europe next year. I think they showed that. So they got knocked out, but I don't think anyone's going to forget that run they made in the 2026 World Cup. So big props to Cape Verde.
They're really good. They put themselves on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. All right, and then we have Colombia and Ghana. They played Friday as well. So Colombia 1, Ghana 0.
Top game for Colombia. Again, the African nation teams have been really good defensively. They're really hard to break down, like across this whole World Cup. But you know, grinded out 1-0 win, and now they're moving on. So.
All right, and then we have yesterday's game. So yesterday was Canada and Morocco.
Morocco, I think it was 3-0, right?
3-0, yeah.
They dominated Canada. They really did. They were in control most of the game.
Is that what you expected?
Yeah, Morocco's a very good team. And then they even lost like their main attacking threat, I think either at the end of the first half or early in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And they were still able to do that. I mean, not to say Canada didn't have their moments where they were threatening, but definitely Morocco controlled that whole game. And it showed.
And then yesterday, the last game was Paraguay and France. So France won 1-0.
Yeah, another game where like it seemed like the calls weren't coming where they should have.
Mm-hmm.
France won 1-0 off a penalty. Had a single yellow card, so a little strange. So I think stuff kind of got out of hand.
My math brain wants to go through the math and see how many that is for the time frame that they were playing, because it's like every couple minutes you're calling a foul.
30, especially if no one's gotten a yellow card.
Yeah. Just letting people slide with shit.
Yeah. Like that was another thing in the Morocco-Canada game.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a good section of time where they were like just going at each other with like hard fouls. And they were just handing out yellow cards, like left and right. Because they were trying to keep it from like going off the rails.
Yeah.
And I think in the France game there was a few times where people would like start pushing each other. No one's swinging, but you know, like a fight.
Yeah.
And I think that's because they weren't throwing out yellow cards. You're gonna be a little bit more aggressive if you're.
Yeah, see what you can get away with.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, they let that slide, I'm just gonna do it again.
Correct.
All comes back to a toddler.
Yeah.
Test your limits.
There's some teams that are like that when they know they're like probably not gonna win the game. They kind of like go off the end and just start fouling. It's like, oh well, what's gonna happen then? I'm losing anyways.
Yeah.
So I've seen that from a few teams. I'm not gonna call them out, but
any games today?
There's 2 games
There's
today.
2 games today, yeah. So there's Brazil and Norway. That's at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then there's Mexico and England today at 8 p.m. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah. Norway, Brazil's definitely going to be good, especially in the attacking front.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brazil's going to pull it out, to be honest. I just think they got too many weapons up front for Norway to deal with.
My guy is on Norway.
He is on Norway.
Holland. Remember his name.
So he'll probably, even if he gets knocked out, I'm sure he'll hang out in America for a little bit.
He's just having fun. He's so happy to be here.
and England play Mexico. So I think England's going to win that. They're making a big deal because they're playing in Mexico at the Azteca, and it's known for being a tough place to play because of the altitude.
Oh.
I still think they're gonna be able to win.
I think Mexico's gonna win.
You think Mexico's gonna beat England?
I think they're gonna win, especially if they're playing in their home country, and they have that motivation going for them too.
They have played really well this tournament.
I think Mexico's gonna win, to be very honest.
I don't know. We'll have to see tonight. We'll come back tomorrow and discuss. All right. I think we're good, right?
We're good.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye.